Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Before I start this video, just a disclaimer, I'm not really that comfortable speaking in English since it's not my first language. You guys probably don't know, but I'm not an American. I'm Asian and I'm from the Philippines that happens to be in love with JRPGs. Also, I want to thank Gaming Broductions for their Patreon support. Please check out my Patreon page, link in the description right down below. Going back to this video, it's gonna be all about my favorite JRPGs from Nihon Falcom. They are one of the most consistent video gaming companies that produces great RPGs, most notably the Ys, the Legend of Heroes, and Trail series. The company was founded in March 1981, making them one of the oldest active video gaming companies out there. This list is based on my own opinion, so feel free to comment any suggestions or improvement and I'll gladly read it. Without further ado, here are the top 20 Nihon Falcom JRPGs. Number 20 is Faxanadu. It's one of the best action RPG in the 8-bit era. From its earthy brown-green palette to its melancholic soundtrack, playing Faxanadu feels like playing something different from other fantasy RPGs even today, which really says something in such an oversaturated genre. Although the game is far from perfect, and some might really not appreciate these graphics today, Faxanadu is a great game for fans who love to play family computer classics. Number 19 is Zwei the Arges adventure. May not be the most polished or compelling experience, but it's a fascinating look into Falcom's past, and a quite lovable one to boot. Those looking for a role-taking action RPG should stick with the Ilvard Insurrection, but enthusiasts interested in Falcom's trajectory will no doubt find a lot of love here. Number 18 is Brandish the Dark Revenant. Is a complete 3D remake of Brandish from Super Famicom. Brandish may be among the most niche of RPGs, but it doesn't suffer any illusions to the contrary. I honestly did enjoy playing the game on the PlayStation Portable, although most people will find themselves indifferent to its focus, idiosyncratic design, but those who get it will definitely love it. Number 17, Dragon Slayer, Legend of Heroes 1 and 2. The second Dragon Slayer is very similar to the first game, graphically and gameplay-wise. The only major difference is the fact that the enemies are now completely visible on the screen before battles. The fast pace never makes the game a drag, even when you are level grinding. I love the soundtrack, but the voice acting is kinda cheesy. If you're into a retro and old school JRPG, this is a lot of fun to play. Number 16 is Popful Mail. It's a 2D platform game with several RPG elements. It is a very good looking game. The first thing I was drawn to it is the colorful aesthetic. The outdoor stages really pop with brightly colored scenery, and the characters really stand out against them. If you love side-scrolling retro games, surely this is something that you need to add to your list. Number 15 is Legend of Heroes Gagharv Trilogy. It's composed of 3 titles: Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch, A Tear of Vermilion, and Song of the Ocean. They are not connected to Sky or Trails of Cold Steel series, but they might take place in the same world. A Tear of Vermilion is close to a masterpiece, and Song of the Ocean is the first game I've ever played in the Legend of Heroes. All in all, I wouldn't skip the Gagharv games. They play exactly like Trails and lots of NPCs with interesting personalities, interesting characters, and tons of text to read and enjoy. Number 14 is Zwei the Ilvard Insurrection. Might satisfy some of the hardcore Ys-loving fans of Falcom, with its stunning graphics and 2 adorable heroes. As a huge fan of Ys, I was excited to see that solid gameplay slowed down a little, with more focus on the story. Zwei is one of the few games that is modern but still have the classic vibe into it. Number 13 is The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails, or known as Nayuta no Kiseki in Japan. It's originally for the PSP and will officially be localized and released next year for the modern consoles with English version. The story is great and the gameplay is somehow similar to the Ys series. The game is fun, and if you're a fan of hack and slash RPGs like Ys, you should keep an eye on it to play the Western version next year. Number 12 is E6, the Ark of Napishtim. Has a great graphics, a simple but addictive style of action-packed combat, and an excellent soundtrack, which should be enough to keep any fans of the Ys franchise happy. Also, if E6 still has its original charm and classic elements to make it a timeless game. It's a simple and not overly complicated action RPG which makes it an easy game to experience and love. Number 11 is Gurumin. It's without a doubt a great RPG with an all-star voice cast and an overall wonderful gameplay experience. Even though Gurumin borrows quite a bit from the other notable adventure games like Zelda, it has still got a soul of its own and a unique charm that few games possess. It's heartwarming in every way, but also an incredibly satisfying experience that fans of the genre absolutely must look into. Number 10 is Memories of Celceta. In spite of an ending that leaves much to be desired, Memories of Celceta is a great action RPG that recontextualizes a decades-old franchise from a modern audience. Adults' adventure mapping out the great forest of Celceta is an excellent introduction for newcomers, and a competent re-release for series veterans. An emphasis of exploration, layered dungeon design, excellent boss fights, and a generous amount of customization keep combat gripping throughout. The title might not be the best in the series, but it's definitely worth your while. Number 9 is Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus. It's without a doubt an underrated JRPG from Nihon Falcom. For those are planning to pick up one of the versions of Tokyo Xanadu, EX Plus would be the recommended one for the extra event scenes and character interaction that comes with it. This game mixes gameplay and structural elements from other game series from Falcom like the E-Series and Trails. This is one of those RPGs you wouldn't expect to be so good with its satisfying fast-paced team-based combat. Number 8 is the Oath of Felghana. It's the remake of the third game in the Ys series. It is another incredibly strong entry in the series with beautiful soundtrack and addictive gameplay that easily beats out the original Ys 3. On the upside, there are several different difficulty modes, optional super hard bosses, and a boss rush mode, a gallery of unlockables, and a new Game Plus mode to enjoy. The Oath of Felghana is another incredibly strong entry in the series, and it's a great option for PSP owners looking for an RPG fix. Number 7 is E7. This is actually the first ever Ys game I've ever played, and oh boy, it was easily one of the best JRPGs for the PSP. Whatever notes E7 is hitting, it's doing it right and marrying every smart mechanic and action RPG gameplay between themselves to create an actually intuitive system that never tires nor lets up. Even if it is more of a throwback than anything out today, this is a great introduction for those who haven't played the series. Number 6 is Ys Origins. It's a fantastic game and definitely a good way to get into the series itself. The controls feel pretty fluid for the most part. You have several different difficulty options to choose from, so anyone from newcomers to experts can enjoy the game. The visuals still look pretty good today, and the soundtrack is nice to just sit back and to listen to. If you're looking for a way to get into the series, Ys Origin is a great place to start. Number 5 is Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero and Azure, or known in Japanese as Zero no Kiseki and Ao no Kiseki. Both are part of the Crossbells duology. The games will eventually be released in the West in 2022 and 2023 for the modern consoles. The Crossbell duology has a special sense of atmosphere that makes it distinct from the other two arcs, and it uses the same battle system introduced in Trails in the Sky. With some improvements, fans are rejoicing since they've been asking for the English version of this game for a very long time. Number 4 is IX Monstrum Nox. Is another excellent addition to the Ys series. Its darker tone and gloomier atmosphere help it to stand out from the rest of the series. It tells a strong story with vibrant characters, has a great setting, gorgeous aesthetic, and sleek combat. And most importantly, it balances all of that out in a way that is nuanced and engaging. Anyone who calls themselves a gamer should do themselves a favor and play this game. Number 3 is Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky series. It's composed of first chapter, second chapter, and the third one. It is not a game in which the gameplay shines, but rather the story and the characters. It has a deep and compelling story, and it is fun and extremely charming at the same time. With staggering depth and surprising accessibility, Falcom have succeeded in making a traditional JRPG that both die-hard veterans and those who don't like the genre will love. Number 2 is The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel from 1 to 4. Preferably, you should play the Sky and Crossville before the Cold Steel, but regardless, definitely play this game in order to have a better understanding of the story. The world is massive and the story is simply amazing. You have to play all 4 to fully understand and appreciate the scope of this amazing world. The characters are amazing, their unique abilities, personalities, and traits makes each character feel unique and full of depth. The battle system keeps getting better and better as you play throughout the series. Although the only problem is this game is very expensive and it's very rare for the Falcom to put these games on sale. Number 1 is VIII Lacrimosa of Dana. I must tell you, this game is perfection. The story is true artistry in motion, keeping things fresh and gripping even hours in. Not afraid to take risks or introduce new things in ways that feel organic every single time. The battle system is so addicting and the music is so iconic. And I just love the Castaway Village so much and the characters you'll meet along the way. I've just recently finished this game and I tell you, this is by far the best RPG Nihon Falcom had ever produced. Even Ace9 couldn't top this game in terms of story, but they are both amazing games and VIII is just that good. Literally that good.